Welcome to Aman Jaiswal's YouTube channel. It's been some time since I was on my channel. Lots of things kept me busy and I'm really happy to be back here again. In my earlier series, we were talking about the various features of the Ronin RSC2 gimbal. In my last video, I spoke to you about the balancing test and the motor parameters. Now in this video, I am going to talk to you about the various modes of the DJI RSC2 gimbal. So this is one more practical video in continuation of the series of the Ronin RSC2 gimbal. I will not only show you the modes which are available, but I will also show you how to set it up. We will also talk about when to use each of this mode. So let's get down to it straight away. When you press the dial on the left of the gimbal, on the screen you will see the follow icon. When you select this option, you will see mode. This shows you the various mode options which are available. So the following options are shown: pan follow, pan tilt follow, first person view or FPV, custom, 3D roll 360, portrait. Now you have to select one of these to use the different modes. So let us start first with the upright mode. The upright mode is enabled after powering on the gimbal. This is the default mode when you are powering on the gimbal and doing the balance test and the calibration also. Let's start with the pan follow mode. The pan follow mode allows the gimbal to pan from side to side but not tilt up or down. So when we set the mode to pan follow mode, the gimbal will try to keep the horizon at a flat, consistent level. Sometimes we can use the joystick to set the gimbal at a locked angle on the tilt axis, but in the pan follow mode, the gimbal will not move from this locked position but will pan accordingly. For example, you can lock the camera at an upward angle and then pan from side to side. So when should you use this mode? Pan follow mode is handy when you need to pan but not tilt. This mode is great to pan and follow the subjects walking from left to right or vice versa. It is also useful for capturing establishing shots. It is also good for following subjects as it allows you to keep the camera moving up or down but not tilt up or down. The next mode is the pan tilt follow mode. This mode is used to pan from side to side and also tilt up or down. This gives full freedom of the pan and tilt axis, allowing the gimbal and camera to be free to face upwards or downwards or left or right. So when should we use this mode? Pan tilt follow mode is ideal when you don't want to be restricted. This comes handy for dynamic shots. For example, when you want to rotate around the subject while tilting up or down. However, this mode can be little too free at some time. If you are not yet experienced at using your gimbal, you may want to use this mode little less and opt for some more simple mode. The next mode is the FPV mode. It's also called the first person view mode. The FPV mode allows the gimbal to pan from side to side, tilt up or down and rotate or roll. This mode is similar to the pan tilt follow mode except that it adds even more freedom. The FPV mode adds the freedom of rotating or rolling the camera. This allows you to capture Dutch angles or fully roll the camera, capturing interesting rotating footage. To keep the camera stable in the FPV mode, make sure you move your whole body with the gimbal when rotating side to side. So when should you use this mode? The FPV mode is ideal to capture natural feeling point of view footage. For example, this mode is used to create a shot from a subject's point of view. This mode is also great for achieving the barrel roll or the vortex effect. This effect involves pointing the camera straight up on the gimbal using the joystick, then point the gimbal forward facing away from your body. The next is the selfie mode. If you press the trigger 3 times on the gimbal, it will automatically go in the selfie mode. This mode turns the top section of the gimbal around so that the camera is facing backward towards the operator. This mode is handy for vlogging or could perhaps be used for some creative cinematography. To remove the selfie mode, press the trigger 2 times and the gimbal will go back into the default upright mode. Now let's talk about the underslung mode. To put the gimbal into the underslung mode, first put it in the sleep mode. The small screen on the gimbal will show you a small moon on the top left corner, which will indicate the gimbal is in the sleep mode. Then rotate the roll axis into 180 degrees and the gimbal will be now upside down. Then switch on the gimbal and you are in the underslung mode. You can take low angle shots of different objects and various interesting angles. We can customize the functions of the gimbal and the roll, pan and the tilt arms and all the speeds of the arms. This feature allows the gimbal operator to rearrange the gimbal's handles so that the gimbal can be held from the top. This means the gimbal is low on the ground. So the underslung mode is great to film follow shots of feet or really anything which is close to the ground. Now let's look at the briefcase mode. Here again, to put the gimbal in the briefcase mode, you have to first put it to sleep. Once this is done, loosen the lock knob of the gimbal, which is at the bottom of the gimbal, and adjust the position of the gimbal like this and tighten the lock knob again. Now when you switch on the gimbal, you will have the gimbal in the briefcase mode. Let's look at another one called the 3D roll 360 mode. This mode is used when you only have to go backward or forward. Here we cannot use the tilt and the pan functions, but the camera can do a 360-degree roll. In the 360-degree mode, you have to move the joystick left or right to move the camera into 360 degrees. In this position, you can press the trigger twice and the roll will stop and the gimbal will come to the default upright mode. The last one is the portrait mode. This is a very useful mode nowadays because in this the camera becomes vertical and comes into a position where you can take reels for YouTube, Instagram or the Facebook videos. In this mode there is no pan or tilt or roll and you have to move the gimbal in the direction you have desired. Many of these modes can be customized through the app for use under specific conditions. Once you have set up these modes, you can come back to them quickly and start using them without the need of going through the app on the phone and opening it each time and setting up the parameters that you have to use. This is especially useful if you are a regular user of the gimbal. Let's look at how we can set the mode. When you open the app, under the main screen below the balance test button, you will see user profile button. When you click this option, you will go into the menu and in the app you will see 3 modes, M1, M2 and M3 tabs at the top, and under each you will be able to set different options. First of all, you can select the mode that you want to set these options for, and then for each of those which you have selected, you can adjust the follow speed. This is the speed at the roll axis will move, and you can increase or decrease the follow speed according to your requirement. There are 4 options such as slow, medium and fast, or even you can customize it. This depends on the kind of shoot that you're doing, whether it is a wedding at a slow pace or a sports event at a fast pace. You can adjust the follow speed accordingly. The next you can adjust is a dead band. This is when you move the gimbal left or right, you don't get much movement from the gimbal. In this you can customize the roll, tilt and pan axis accordingly to how much movement you want to get from each axis. Push mode, which is by default off. I hope that you have been able to understand the various modes in the gimbal and will be able to use them to make much better videos. In my next video, I will tell you how to use the gimbal, DJI Ronin RSC2 with the Pro Combo Kit and the focus motor, and how to install and use it. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that when I upload my next video, you can get notified, and please do not forget to comment. It will really help me.